Record. Hey everybody, we're back for the Steelix line, and I'm just gonna get straight into it because I think I've covered all of the preliminary stuff. I do want to emphasize again, just if you're seeing this thumbnail and you're not familiar with my work and you're saying, "Whoa, what? This is all overpowered crap," just watch the beginning of the Gengar video and I'll answer your question. I don't want to waste time on this one talking about it. Um, but it's mostly just for the video title. It's not actually trying to make it good and competitive because this would be ridiculous in an actual competitive format. So, with that being said, we have the Steelix line here. I want to cover the most glaring or interesting changes first. So, the two biggest things that are probably jumping out to the people looking at these are number one, Onix's stats. Also, Steelix, like they all got buffed pretty equally, but the fact that Onix like has massive buffs, and the fact that Steelix is rock type, Mega Steelix is rock type. So first, I'm going to cover the rock typing on Steelix. So essentially, rock type gets a Zan boost. That's really all that I need to say. And as for why the typing makes sense, my man has crystals. Crystals are in canon rock type. For example, DNC, Carbink are rock type. So that's why Mega Steelix is rock type over ground type. Yes, it's technically a worse typing. Yes, it has way more weaknesses. I understand, but just bear with me. He is fucking amazing. Probably the bulkiest Pokemon in the whole hack. Um, as far as I can think of anything coming in the future, he's probably in the top five. Definitely in the top five, potentially literally the bulkiest Pokemon overall in the entire goddamn hack. Like in terms of just taking hits and number value, it's absolutely insane. So the cool thing is, pre-Mega Steelix has Sand Stream, and that will become Sand Force when it Mega Evolves, and it gets the 50% boost to its already great special defense stat. But I will cover that more in a second. Actually, I'm gonna cover Steelix and Mega Steelix first, and then I'll cover Onix. But I'll just try to get this out of the way now. Onix is usable. Something you guys have probably noticed that I'm doing is making certain pre-evolutions viable, and making them genuinely like valid options over the evolution. It's just cool little shit like that, especially mons that got evolutions later in the games, like Rhydon. Um, Onix got an evolution eventually, Magneton, that kind of shit. So Onix is a really cool design, super classic design. And yes, we all know the fucking memes. Oh, Onix has less attack than Oddish. Da, 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 da. Yeah, it's absolutely ridiculous. They definitely just designed Onix in Gen 1 to be like some type of boss battle where he has super great defense, but he can't hit you hard. That's probably the only reason Gen 1 stats make no sense. Stats in general make not a lot of sense, but they make more sense than they did back then. Back then, it was an absolute mess. As you can see, yeah, 75 boost. He is fucking huge. Onix is massive. He should definitely be strong. He is what, 30 feet long? Yeah, 30 feet long, 500-pound snake rock snake. Like he should be strong. Period. Um, but I will get into Onix usage after. First, I want to talk about Steelix now since that's what I started with. Although I did change the subject, so I may as well talk about Onix first to go chronologically. So, yeah, from the points you get Onix, it is great. I'm not sure exactly when I'll make it available. Probably, I'd say the latest would be in the cave, like the Woods Cave, um, which would be before Olivia. That would be yeah. Actually, I think you can access that really early. You can access it like I believe after Totem Araquanid. You can go back to Heya and go to the cave. If not after Araquanid, definitely after Marowak. I know you can go there before Lost Jungle, before Totem Lurantis. Not that you would want Onyx for Lurantis, but I mean, actually, it could do stuff. But the point is, um, it's super strong for when you catch it. The earliest would be 10 Carat Hill, which would be post Hala, but I'm not sure how that might be too strong. Although, hmm, if it's if you can go to Diglett's Tunnel pre Marowak, then I'll probably put it in Hala. Sorry, post Hala, because you can get it before Marowak anyways. But if you can't get it before Marowak, I will make it locked post Marowak because yeah, he would be really good for Marowak. Regardless, super strong Pokemon now. So the line as a whole has way more HP. Because as you guys have probably noticed in the hack, like size is much more, sorry, HP is much more reliant on size. And so these guys are 30-foot long, massive snakes. And so therefore they have big HP stats. So Onix has 100 HP, um, which even with just a 30 nerf to defense, minus 30 to defense, because there's no way in hell I'm giving him 100 HP, 160 defense, and like that's just ridiculous. With Eviolite, it's ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. 130 defense is still very reasonable, like for his appearance, because he's not metal or anything, he's just rock. But dude, with Eviolite, that is absurd. Super tanky. with the HP boost, with the huge HP boost. Super strong, so he can actually be offensive, and he has good speed. He already had good speed before because it says in the decks, they tunnel and whatnot. They do the 50 miles per hour underground, which is why they have Sand Rush. All three have a sand related ability, which I think is super cool, super useful and nice. So Sand Rush is super great. It lets Onix use like sweeping sets with 120 attack, 75 speed in the sand to get the special defense boost. So you can use like a Violite, Sandstorm, Sand Rush, Onix, and get. So you're because here's what I want to say. Violite Onix is genuinely very viable, super viable. It just depends on what your team needs, what your nature of your Onix is, what you like, which one do you prefer. But you can totally use it the entire hack, and you will not be suffering whatsoever. You will be actually arguably bulkier. Just the typing is a big downside. So if I go to the image calculator here and I look up, well, it doesn't matter actually. I'm just going to use the speed stat for reference. So if I give this maxed out, right, I'm using this just to automatically add the calculation. So with a Violite, maxed out 45 base special defense hits 310, which I believe is about 91. Yeah, 309. So that's equal to about 91 SPDF alone. And that's if you, obviously, that's if you have max. Obviously, these approximations are best case because worst case, the way that the multiplication works is it isn't as strong as you might think it was. If you have like shitty IVs and no investment because it's a exponential. The increase is exponential. It's not a base stat increase. It's a multiplier. Therefore, that's why like huge power and shit. That's why sometimes people are mistaken. They think, oh, huge power Zoomer 50 attack makes it 100 base attack. It's actually far more because it's a actual multiplication. It works differently than the base stat calculation, and that goes for this. So you could max out at base 90 defense. I'd say on average you're probably going to be getting about base 80 special defense with the Violite, which is really good. And then your defense is just fucking behemoth. And then you have to keep in mind, despite the shitty special defense, the Violite plus the 100 HP makes that very good. Plus, he can also be in the sand. Like he will be running sand pretty often with Sand Rush, and therefore he gets an additional boost. And the best part about that is it's not even like +2. It's actually +1 and then another 0.5 multiplier on top of this. So 309 times 1.5 in the sand under Sand Rush with a Violite Onix special defense max out at 463, which actually rounds up to 464, which would be, let me guess, about 150. Yeah, I'm off. The higher numbers is where I'm not really haven't memorized them just yet, but I will eventually. 161, it looks like. Yeah, 161 base special defense. Obviously, this is best case with max out, plus nature, everything. It'll be probably a little bit lower, but the point is with the Violate and Sand, Onix's special defense is more than made up for. And also, it's a balancing thing. I mean, he would be fucking overpowered as hell if I gave him like 60 special defense and I don't know, like made his speed lower or something. It would suck. It would be too strong, too good. So Onix is a great option, super strong, super fast 120 attack with 75 speed. If you're running Sand Rush with 0 speed investment and 31 IVs and a neutral nature, you will hit 372 speed, which if I had to guess would be about 372, be about 120 something. Let's see. Oh, sorry, gotta put the EVs in. Dude, I am such a loser that I memorized that. Yeah, 372. So there you go. 120 speed. With 0 investment, you're outspeeding base 120 and below, which is just crazy. That's with 0 investment. So even with like 50 EVs in speed, you're probably hitting even higher tiers with minimal investment and a neutral nature. So Onix is great. As for how to abuse that, you can use Coil, which is super great with all kinds of inaccurate moves. So with Coil, your best options are Iron Tail. As Onix, you get Aqua Tail. But not sorry, as Steelix get Aqua Tail, but not as Onix because Aqua Tail was exclusive to only Steelix, and so I figured, oh, well, you can use the same logic to give them other water moves, which I'll get into, but Onix shouldn't get them. Only Steelix should, just because Onix didn't get Aqua Tail. So yeah, you got Iron Tail, you got Stone Edge. Rock Slide is 95% accurate, so I guess Coil also affects that if you really were worried about the 5%. You just have a lot of great Zen Headbutt is slightly inaccurate. Drill Run is actually not inaccurate anymore. Never mind. It used to be. Power Whip. So you got Power Whip, Stone Edge, freaking Iron Tail, yeah, all that kind of stuff with Coil as Onix. And of course, you get the attack and defense boost under the sand. You have the special defense boost. You get the defense boost from Coil, special defense from sand. Onix is just a super great sand sweeper overall. Super great with Coil, or you could use Swords Dance, which I gave them as well somewhere, I think below here. Yeah. Swords Dance is there, so that's super great. 120 attack, you get the 120 plus speed, you just boom, sweet shit, you take hits, super bulky with a Violite. Super great Pokemon, man. Super fucking great. Onix, totally valuable on its own. You don't have to evolve it if you like Onix or you need it for your team. If you do evolve it though, as I stated in the other change guide, the reason I do this is because I don't want for evolutions that are intended to be optional. I don't want you to be bombarded every level. Oh, you've hit level 40, now you're going to try to evolve every level. That's just annoying as fuck. So it's optional. You have to use the Steel Gem to evolve it. So that's great. Um, that's Onix covered for the most part. And also Sediment in the sand, under Sand Rush. Sediment heals 2/3 in the sand, which is just fucking huge, man. And you're fast, so you get the fast recovery. It is just super bulky. It's bulky. It's got everything, man. It's bulky, it's fast, and it's strong. Literally the only thing holding it back is the typing, and obviously you need to be under the sand. It takes a turn to set up a sand, or you can use team support, but it's still really, really valuable. And the beautiful thing about sand is that the TM is available literally at the beginning of the game before the first trial. So that's that. Steelix is great. So obviously with Steelix you can run Assault Vest and boost up your 70s BDF, which is actually slightly better than it used to be, to like really high levels without the sand boost from Onix or Mega Steelix, which I'll get into after Onix. Sorry, after Steelix. Uh, Steelix has even more HP because it's bigger slightly. I mean, it weighs a shitload more, but it's not that much longer, I don't think. I believe it's about 30 something feet. Yeah, 2 feet, 2 meters, no, 2 feet longer, and about double the weight. Right? Yeah, so 110 HP. There was nowhere else. Like, I mean, I can't give him 120 HP. There would be nowhere else to take the stats out of for Mega. Because I really like Nega's stat spread, which I'll get into. But yeah, Steelix, super fucking tanky, man. Steel ground type, 110, 180, 70. With if Assault Vest, that's great. Obviously, you can't use recovery moves. So it's in Steelix's best interest to just be trying to tank physical hits. And the beautiful thing about Steelix, you can also just use AV with like U-turn plus coverage plus stab. He's got a lot of shit, man. You can see here. So much to cover. I don't want to spend too long covering every nitty gritty detail, even though I would love to. I don't want to make these all 40 minutes long, man. It would be pretty. I feel like people would just see it and not watch it just based on the timestamp. So yeah, you got 110, you got 140 attack because well, Onix has 120 because he's fucking huge. Steelix is even bigger, and he's made of metal. So I mean, dude, look at this motherfucker. He should definitely have 140 plus attack for sure, which is super fucking strong. So defense is slightly nerfed just because number one, you don't need 200 defense. Number two, you have 110 HP now. You do not need the 200 defense. So took a little bit out of there. Just took a little bit of special attack just for the min-maxing, just to make the stats even. And then he has more speed because he can also tunnel to the ground, not nearly as quickly as Onix can, but still, he can still tunnel to the ground. I even considered keeping Sand Rush, but I think Sand Rush on Onix is really nice and cool to have it as exclusive. While Steelix has the Sand Stream to set up the sand from Mega Steelix. So Sand Stream is kind of useless on base Steelix. It's not terrible though. You get chip damage on the opponent, and your Sediment will heal 2/3 instantly as soon as you switch it in. So you have a 2/3 recovery move right there on this bulky ass Pokemon. And the thing is, your other ability is great, but it's semi-situational. It's Strong Draw, and you don't have any stab strong draw moves, but you do have a shitload of coverage moves with strong draw. And as for why it has strong draw, I mean, I don't think I need to explain it too much, man. Look at my man, you got a big chin. I think when he talks about them crunching through, eating through shit, yeah, sturdy jaws, etc. So strong draw is great. So with strong draw, you have 3 85 base power moves and I believe 4 75 base power moves. Let me count. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. So you have Psychic Fangs, Crunch, and Jagged Fangs, all of which become, I think, 128 base power. Yeah. So Psychic Fangs, Crunch, and Jagged Fangs, which is Rock, Dark, and Psychic, 128. And then the other 4 elemental fangs are 113 base power. So you have a lot of great coverage, super strong, no downsides to using those moves. Super great for strong jaw usage. And you can always all of those are TMs besides Crunch and Jagged Fangs, which you learn when you evolve. And so you can just swap them on and off with TMs and use the coverage as you need it, and then use Sandstream in other cases. You can also use Sand to support your other teammates. Really good overall to override other weather. There's so many implications and applications for Sand. So that's base Steelix, super strong, super great. You don't even need the Mega, great Pokemon on its own. If you do use the Mega, however, Mega Steelix, like I said at the beginning, is probably one of the most bulky Pokemon in the entire goddamn game now, thanks to the Sand boost from Sand Force. So that's why he's Rock type. Yes, I know that the Steel Rock type has tons of weaknesses, and we just pull up like Bastiodon or something. Yes, okay, it has the 4 times weaknesses to really common offensive types. It has the weakness to water. Yes. It also has a shitload of resistances, though. And people always shit on the Steel Rock typing because a lot of them are slow. And Onix is also Mega Steelix is obviously very slow as well, but they fail to remember that at least in game. All right. As for competitive, different story. In game, you can tailor your matchups. You can just not use him against fighting ground and water. And the thing is, you'll be taking a lot of fighting ground and water hits, especially water. Water hits, you'll be swallowing water hits with sand force. Sorry, with sandstream plus the sand boost, absolutely swallowing. As for fighting ground, it depends on what's using them on you. You can probably take a lot of them though. Take them well, actually, depending on what it is. So that's the beauty of Mega Steelix. I'm really excited, honestly, for him. Super cool, super underrated design, man. Really cool. Speaking of the design, some people might think it's weird, but that's why he's specially oriented. That's why he's a mixed attacker now, because he has this magnetic crystal energy just orbiting around him. My man literally has an orbit of like magnetic field. He has his own magnetic field. Super fucking dope crystals and shit. I mean, I think being a special attacker fits very nicely, and it's just a nice, cool option to have for base Steelix because your attack is actually the same. However, both of your abilities make you much stronger than base Steelix without a boosting item. I guess Strong Draw, like Choice Band, is stronger than Mega Steelix, but you don't get stab on those moves versus stab you get on. So I'm gonna cover Sand Force first. So Sandstream, Mega Evolve. You have the 1.5 times boost to your 100 base special defense. So you have 110, 200, and 100 bulk with the Sand boost. It's fucking insane, man. Is it overpowered? Who cares? I don't. I mean, you have so much stuff, so much counterplay available. The AI is so much counterplay, and it's just fun to use. That's the beauty of this kind of thing. I don't have to worry too much. Um, so I'll just put this in right now. 100. Got 100 right here. That is +1. At max, with max special defense, you have 492, which is probably what, like 160 something? Probably 170 actually. Oh, damn, 175? Yeah, 174, 175. So, dude, 110, 200, 170 plus bulk if you max out. Obviously, you might be wanting to run HP plus special. Like, for example, I'll put it into context. With base 100 special defense, right? Max IVs, because post game you get the battle caps. You can literally just max all your IVs if you didn't get max as well. And you can always breed if you're that type of person if you're not doing it as a lock, but I would recommend doing it as a lock. I think it's fun. Anyways, yeah, zero investment. You still hit 354, which is really good, man. That zero investment needed. You can do max HP, max attack, or special attack, and then you can still hit 200 base defense is fucking behemoth. I don't even need to cover how big that is. 436 without any investment. You don't need to invest in your defense at all. In fact, the way EVs work, if you guys don't know, you get more out of your EVs if you invest them into lower stats, technically. Although that's not me saying, oh, you have a Gengar or you have an Alakazam invested max attack and defense. That's not the case. But you will get more leverage out of it. You get more stats out of the EVs if you invest in lower stats. If you don't know. So 100, that's 354, which I believe is about 110 if you max it out. If I put in Jolly, 354 should be about maybe yeah, 113, 112. All right, about 112 special defense with zero investment. So you have 110, 200, and about 112 special defense, which that doesn't sound right, but I guess it is. Oh, that's if you max it out. Yeah, you guessed my point. All right, he's super goddamn bulky. He will swallow hits. I would show like actual calcs from actual Pokemon in the game, but it would take a lot of work to put in the new numbers and the new power of all the moves. That's why hopefully one day, if this hack blows up, somebody could make a super complicated new damage calc. Um, I don't have the time to do that right now. It's not worth it. But maybe if I get some traction, I'll do it. Uh, that's about it though. Man, super bulky, 140, 130 offenses. So the other beauty of that is not only are you getting the defensive boost plus the sediment healing 2/3, plus the chip damage on the allies and also the opponent, plus supporting your allies with the sand if you have other rock types or other sand activated abilities, and also weather ball on other Pokemon. Like you can even just slap weather ball on something and get a special rock type move instantly with the TM, which is cool. Has tons of great uses. Sand Force, which actually I believe Onix actually originally had. Um, the only difference is base Steelix automatically sets it up for him. So you get a 30% boost, a life orb boost on your stab, rock and steel, and ground coverage, which obviously he has plenty of. 30% boost, which stacks with stab. So it's essentially a life orb boost, but it stacks with stab, so does life orb. So I believe 1.3 times 1.5 is 1.95. I believe it's almost adaptability boost. Yeah, 1.95. So you essentially are getting adaptability on your steel and rock type moves instantly, as well as 50% special defense boost. Super fucking strong, man. Really powerful. 140, 130% force. Great. A little limiting, but you have your dual stab, you have your ground. That's really all you need. I mean, edge quake plus the steel stab. It's obviously you have tons of other coverage options, which I will cover now because I'm sure I probably should have done that first because I feel like these might be really weird for some people to just see it and be like, what the fuck? Look, man, a lot of Pokemon get stupid bullshit special coverage for no goddamn reason. And I think my man, if he can use Dragon Breath in the original game and he can use Aqua Tail, he can fucking pump out water from his mouth and make a flamethrower. I mean, there's so much shit that gets weird moves like that, and I think it fits his like almost draconic nature if you want to go that route. Don't think about it too hard, man. It's Pokemon. It fits well enough. I actually, listen, I feel like part of me remembers him getting these moves without my changes. I remember him getting these, but he doesn't. So I added them, and that's just to make the mix much better. And the beauty of that is you have sheer force as your other ability. So I would say in most cases you're going to be using Sand Force, but if you for some reason don't need the boost and you really need the sheer force boost, you could use that as well. And you get boost on all your moves, almost like so much of your moves. Flash Cannon, which again boosted by Sand Force as well. So I'm actually just going to cover moves that aren't boosted because sheer force is the same boost as a Sand Force technically, just on way more moves. So sheer force. I mean, you guys can see all the moves here that are boosted. You have tons of special moves. Um, Tons of special moves, man. Hydro Pump doesn't have an added effect, but Focus Blast, Thunder, Blizzard, Fire Blast, Energy Ball, Sludge Bomb, Bolt Beam, all of this shit, man. You get the boosts. You get the sheer force boost on those. Um, so yeah, physically you're super strong, especially you're super strong. You've got Diamond Storm and Land's Wrath and all this good utility. As for the weird level up stuff here, I it's the only downside of using special Steelix, Mega Steelix, is that you're kind of restricting your move pool because um, you're kind of stuck with useless special moves unless you Mega Evolve because he has 50 special attack otherwise. So you need to Mega to use it. But the beauty is you have Move Relearner and you have so many TMs. In fact, all of your staple moves are TMs besides Power Gem for special Mega Steelix besides Power Gem or Diamond Storm. Every other move is TM. So all of these coverage moves, Earth Power, um, Flash Cannon, those are all TMs, so you can just slap them on and off. Same thing with ability capsules. I cover this in every time, but I'll just mention it briefly. You can just ability capsule on and go to town with whatever set you want. For example, if you don't want the sand or you need the sheer force boost or whatever it is, you need strong draw for a specific boss fight that has a strong draw vulnerable Pokemon team that you need to get the boost on your crunch or whatever. It's a good option. It's especially for base Steelix because Sandstream is kind of useless. It's again, it's not far from useless. I don't want to undersell it because it is really fucking good still. He has the sediment. He has the residual chip damage. He has team support. He can activate teammates' abilities. He can give your teammates a weather ball. It's totally useful. It's just not as useful as it is on the Mega. So I think I've covered just about everything. I hope that touches on everything. Yeah, my man Mega Steelix. W in the chat for Steelix, bro. Bulky is fucking on in the game. You love to see it. I highly doubt there will be any mons that are bulkier, counting in abilities. I mean, I guess Dugong is up there, but Steelix, man, just absolute tank of a Pokemon. Love to see it. Super cool mons. All of them, all three of them were so underpowered, so I'm really happy to actually give them the power that they deserve as these behemoths. They deserve to be strong. So I'm really happy with them. I'm really happy with the way they turned out. There's tons of other little support shit that I didn't have time to cover. You guys can see it all here. You can see all the moves. You got all this utility shit that you can teach it. Parting shot. You got freaking more setup that I didn't even cover. You got Roar, Dragon Tail, Skull Bash is super good right now. Actually, I'll just cover that for a split second. Battle Cry as well. Battle Cry lowers all stats by 2. Sorry, lowers all attacking stats by 2 of the opponent. Skull Bash is really cool what I did with it. So basically, first turn, you get a defense boost as usual. And then when you use it, you get attack and accuracy. Also, it's hustle. It ignores hustle's accuracy drop, but that isn't relevant here. But super great, man. You essentially get a free bulk. You get a free coil. you get a free coil boost, as well as 130 base power move. Only downside is you either need to wait a turn, get the defense boost, and then use it after, or you need to, you know, use a power herb, which is probably the best way to use it. But I mean, Steelix is bulky enough to where he could totally just wait the turn and get the Skull Bash boost and keep adding up and keep adding up. Super fucking fun. You also got Rapid Spin early on. Rapid Spin is a good move instead of Agility or Rock Polish, although Rock Polish gives you accuracy, so you might want that instead. But overall, super fun Pokemon, man. Super excited. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. Peace, y'all.